Justin, over the years, we've talked about how you get the players up to speed, and obviously the year-over-year changes, a lot of changes on the coaching staff. How have you got them up to speed for this? And kind of, obviously some guys are experienced with this, but how have you kind of let them kind of simmer in what the environment will be on Saturday?
Coaches are highly motivated people. I haven't met a coach at this level that needs extra motivation, but they sit in the same meetings that the players do, so they get some of the history as well. And you also absorb it being around the building, you know, talking to people, reading about it. It's literally, you know, the scores and some of the moments are playing on the TVs and painted on the walls.
Last year, you have Aaron Rodgers in the building to help you with the education and the hype surrounding the game. Now you have Ron Rivera here on a day-to-day basis. What additional elements has he given you, and kind of what have you kind of soaked up from him in your own process?
Yeah, I don't get the sense that the players need more hype. I think the education is good. They're concerned with playing good football. Everybody wants to go out there and play really well. That's the number one goal. But I think it's part of college football, and especially being a part of the big game, to educate the guys on the history of it, because they're taking part in something that's, you know, much bigger than any single individual, and that's the history of the game and the acts and rally comm and everybody involved. So we do spend time on it, but we never will shortcut the preparation that it takes to play our best football.
Coach, your quarterback is having a great freshman year, but he's taken 18 sacks in the last 5 games, and I'm kind of wondering how many of those are on him, and would you like to see him, you know, try to get the ball out of his hand a little quicker?
Yeah, there's going to be there's not one reason for those sacks. We have to do a better job as a team avoiding those, and that's us as coaches making sure we're giving the guys all the tools. It's the down and distances that those sacks show up. It's the protection, and there are times, you know, that Jaron, I'm sure, could get rid of the ball, but it's not one thing. And I think he's learned throughout the year. He's gotten better of kind of feeling that clock in his head. And so, yeah, I'm pleased with his progress, but we as a team have to do a better job avoiding those sacks.
Justin, wondering how much the extra week helped you guys physically get healthier. And I know that there's an injury report coming Thursday, but can you give us an update on Cade at all? Or?
Yeah, the injury report will come out Thursday, and we'll just kind of defer everything to that. It certainly helps having a little extra time, just like it helps them. You know, at this point in the season, health is a relative term. And there's no such thing. Anybody that's playing college football right now, there's no such thing as 100% healthy. It's in-season healthy. It's relative health. And so teams are banged up, and we've got guys banged up, and I'm sure they do too. And so the extra time, you know, is valuable, and hopefully getting some of those guys back.
Just, I don't know if this is an old wives' tale or if there's some truth to it, but there's the sense of one in a rivalry game that coaches go deeper into the playbook. You might see some more gadget plays. And if you have an extra week, which both teams do, that there's more time to mess around, so to speak, with on the edges of the playbook. Is that a wives' tale, or is there some truth to that?
Well, I don't know. You know, everybody, they're going to use the bye week just like we use the bye week. You know, ultimately, what we're trying to do is put the players in the best position we can to win the game, and so fundamentals have to show up. You know, physicality has to show up. There's no way around those two things, regardless of what plays you draw up. So,
hey, Coach, you've talked about teaching the players the history of the rivalry and the acts and everything that goes into that. Why do you think that that's important?
It's part of college football, and they're a part of it. They're a part of this game, and the older that they get, they'll appreciate it more and more. Right now, you know, we all live in this, you know, week to week environment, and it's a 1-game season every week, and that's no different this week. But I think it'd be doing the guys who participate in college football, and especially here, and being a part of this game, not to educate them a bit. But can a guy who's been here for 3 months or 5 months or 7 months appreciate it on the same level as somebody in the Travers family who's been here for 103 of these games? Probably not. But over time, they'll appreciate it more and more. But the best way to be involved with this game is find a way to win it. And so we have to utilize the time that we do have with the players, because they also have class and they have other things going on. So we utilize the time to prepare them to win while, educating them as best we can about the history of the game. So,
Justin, how have you seen Jaron just handle the ups and downs of a freshman? Obviously, he had some highs, some lows. How has he sort of responded to that?
yeah, fantastic. He is he's a special person, first and foremost, and then he's obviously an extremely talented young man. But for a 19-year-old kid to start and play the whole season and go through, things for the first time, a number of times, I think he's handled it exceptionally well.
Hi, Coach, all the way in the back up here. What was your welcome to the big game moment?
Well, I was a part of it in the early 2000s, being on Coach Tedford's staff, and I would say just in those days the pageantry around it, the week of events, which has changed a bit, the week of events that led up to the game, the competitiveness of it, how much the two schools, the student bodies and the alumni get heavily involved. And so that's what makes it great, is that so many people care. But I recognized it back then. I mean, shoot, but even growing up in the West Coast, I grew up in Oregon, and you would hear, we didn't have all the coverage in those days. If it wasn't on one of the 3 major stations, you didn't get to watch it, but you knew about it and heard about it. So,
Justin, you've talked repeatedly this year about wanting to see your team play its best and get closer to that. I'm wondering, how close to that do you think you got at Louisville, and how much is left?
I think that was our best game to date in terms of every phase contributing. There's still meat on the bone. There's no doubt about that. But I was pleased with the progress we made in a number of areas, and now we got to continue to get better. You want to be playing your best game the last game you play, and so we want to see that improvement this week, and we know it'll be a challenge because Stanford's a tough team, and it'll be a great environment, but I am pleased with the progress that we showed in our last game, and we got to build on that.
Can you talk about what you've seen from Stanford, and specifically how they've improved during the course of the year?
Well, yeah, you see the improvement throughout the year, which is a sign of a well-coached team. We have a lot of respect for those coaches. We know some of those players just through recruiting, and so you watch them on defense and the physical nature that they play with up front on their front seven. Their secondary has good players. Like I said, we know a lot of those guys through recruiting. Their specialists are very good. And on offense, like they've always been, the O-line, the tight end is a fantastic player. So they're big and physical. The tight end's great. They've got 2 quarterbacks that they played that both show, Ben has played a lot of football and has seen the game a lot, and he's done some really good things. And the young guy came in and threw the ball very well. The receivers have made explosive plays. Bryce is really fast. The running back's a heck of a player. So you just see them get better and better every week, and that's a sign of a good, well-coached team.
Let's go to Matt Moreno on the telephone. If you can hear us, Matt, go ahead and speak up.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, you brought up after the game Kendrick's importance on the last drive and maybe a couple plays that got overlooked when you're looking at the final play. But what has he meant to the offense overall this season, and obviously, especially lately with what he's done in the receiving game?
Yeah, I think he's gotten better throughout the season. I think Kendrick's a guy that his 15th touch of the game looks like the first touch, and that's a great quality. He had some great tough runs and tough yards that he earned in our last game. You mentioned the overtime. There was a couple plays in there, broken tackles that were critical. He did the same thing earlier in the game where maybe he was hit at the line of scrimmage, but he got 4 or 6 yards, and that changes the complexion of that series of downs and that drive. So I think he's done a heck of a job, and I'm excited for him to get more opportunities, but he has gotten better throughout the year and really loved the toughness that he showed against Louisville.
Coach, every team's got a couple players usually that are kind of tone setters that the coaching staff relies upon for energy on game day. Just watching your practice, I thought you had good energy today. Guys are bouncing around, but who are your tone setters? Who are the guys that really get guys ready to go?
That's a great question. I could name a number of guys. I think the guys are highly motivated. How many practices have you seen? Just today. Okay, well, it was a heck of a practice. I also think we've practiced well throughout the year. There's not many days where we as coaches come in and say, boy, the guys didn't have it today. Now, I'll tell you, some are better than others, but our guys have done a really good job of bringing energy to practice, and not just the guys that are maybe the starters that are playing a lot, also the guys that help us on scout teams and service looks, and maybe guys that play sparingly in the game. I think throughout the year I've been really impressed with the guys on the team and how they've approached practice and meetings. So today was not a surprise. However, it was to echo your point, it was a very good practice. So we need another one of those tomorrow.
Justin, you've had a lot of seasons where the team's had some really tough late losses, last possession losses or one score losses. But this year, the coin's kind of flipped, and you've been on the winning end of a lot of those. What kind of subtle impacts do you typically see on a team when they not only try and believe that they can do it, but they've seen that they can do it?
Yeah, demonstrated performance is the best way to build confidence. And so when you get in those moments, to know that you've been there before and know that you've executed in those moments, because it's really about the level of execution on the given play that can be the difference in the game. And they are very subtle and they're small, but having comfort and confidence in those situations is the key to making that play. And then once you make it the first time and you get the result you desire, then you're more apt to do it again. And so I think the team and the individuals learn from that, and it does breed confidence.
Any subtle differences after this particularly important win over Louisville in practice?
No, the guys, like I said, have always practiced really hard. It's nice going to practice after a victory. There's a different bounce and energy. That's not unique to our team or any other team. I think that's just kind of the way football goes. And regardless, you have to go out there and work really hard because the other team's working hard too, and they have good players too, and they're trying to win. And ultimately, it's about those individual moments throughout the game that can be the difference. So I think the guys did a great job, and as you said, that you build confidence through performing in those critical moments.
Justin, Stanford is coming off a performance where they gave up 9 sacks. When you see that philosophically, do you fall along the lines of, I can send more guys to maybe put them in a bit of a trouble spot, or do you use your own front four and say, let's see if that performance continues and adjust from there?
Yeah, I understand the question, but in a game like that, it's not one thing, and I don't think that's representative of how that unit has played throughout the year. It probably didn't go exactly like they wanted it to, and there's a couple plays that they gave up a sack when they probably look at the tape, or a handful of plays where they look at the tape and say, well, we shouldn't have given one up here, and it was about the detail of the play. So I don't think that's representative of how their offense is played or how that unit played. I also think their opponent has some really good players, so it's a combination of all those things. But it doesn't necessarily say, yeah, we're going to go blitz every down or we're never going to blitz. It doesn't really tell us that.
You've seen the support from the fan base over the years at Stanford Stadium. What are you expecting from them Saturday?
The same. Yeah, the same. It'll be a great environment. It always is. Love having our fans there and making noise best they can on the third downs. And our guys are excited to go over there and play.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.